live from the electronic sweater capital of the world. It's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
I beg to differ. Welcome to the show, everybody. Today is December 10th, and we're coming to you live in the Adafruit factory. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, Phil himself. What's on today's show, Phil?
Let's just back up a second. If New York isn't the electronic sweater capital of the world, then where, Becky? Then where?
I don't know.
Okay.
Here. I mean, I thought you were referring to exactly right here, not just the city.
Oh, this spot?
Yeah. No, this, because I just made the one.
Oh, no, it's on 34th Street.
Okay,
I was just saying the general geographic area.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
So you think
so long as we're clear, we're in agreement.
3D
then.
capital of the world?
Yeah.
Electronic sweater capital of the world?
Yes.
Wearable electronics capital of the world?
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got some weird things over here, claims to fame.
Yeah.
What's on today's show,
It'll
Phil?
all make sense later, I promise. Okay, on today's show, Wearable Wednesday.
We share with you the coolest stuff from around the blog and the internet, and then also debut a new project. Today, it's an electronic sweater.
I knew it. I knew it. Component of the week.
It's the audio board that drives the electronic sweater.
Material spotlight.
Some wires, some premium jumper wires for connecting components, perhaps, in your electronic sweater.
And questions and answers. You have questions? Becky has answers.
None of the questions are about electronic sweaters. If you have any questions during the show or after the show at any point about wearable electronics, you can ask them in the comments here or on Google Plus or on Twitter or on the blog, and I will gather them up and answer them on next week's show, making you eligible to win a prize. Today we're giving away a Flora.
That's right. All that and more on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
That's what we do here.
In your face, Peoria, Illinois, #2 in electronic sweaters.
Well, wherever they make the one with the screen in it, the one you can put your smartphone in it and then load up the animation, I think that might be the electronic sweater capital, because they took off last year. Yeah.
Oh, at big events like the E3, the gaming convention, and all the really big, whatever you want to call them, industry events, I see those a lot because they have people who are attendees as walking billboards.
Yeah.
And so they have those.
Yeah, you wear iPad Pocket.
Yeah, I've seen the iPad Pocket, and then it's on the back, and then I've seen people with a helmet with a big screen front and back.
Yep.
I think a little intense.
It is really intense.
Okay.
Wearable displays. The code today is Hour of Code. Phil, can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I'll just skip ahead to Wearable Wednesday and talk about what that is. So, this is Computer Science Education Week, and Hour of Code is actually all week, even though there's many hours in the week. This is the
you have to pick one of them.
You're supposed to pick one of them, and one of the cool things is every year they have millions of people, and this is in schools, this is in like hacker spaces, maker spaces, all sorts of places where they get young people just to start to learn how to code. So code.org does this. There's a lot of really cool organizations. Sites like ours celebrate it because computer coding isn't what people just think it is, even just a few years ago. So if you want to blink an LED, that counts. If you want to sew something and have something light up on your clothing, you still need code. Yeah. So the hour of code that you spend, it's not just sitting in front of a computer, it could be actually building projects. So that's why that's the code this week. We also posted up on the blog, which I thought was kind of cool. Despite any politics or whatever political leanings anyone has, the President of the United States did spend an hour and did learn how to code.
Nice.
And he did it was like a little JavaScript thing. It wasn't anything major.
Sure. Well, I mean.
But what made me think is, wow, we will have a president one day of this country that had code on GitHub. It'll just be coincidental. Did some computer science. Here's some an old pull request from now the current president. That's really neat.
Yeah.
So it's a really good time to get started. And if you're apprehensive about just straight up programming, you think it's just like sitting in front of a terminal and typing, there's way more to it than that. And learning to code now means physical computing. It means wearable electronics. It means all the light up stuff that you see here. It's way more than just like making a circle.
Yeah, you can
blink on a screen.
You need code for your prom dress, and you need code for your Christmas tiara, and you need code for your Halloween costume. And so it's really fun. You could take an hour and try one of our wearables tutorials and get your feet wet with a little bit of Arduino code.
Yeah. So the request is, if you know any young person out there, just send them a link to code.org and just say, hey, try out some of this stuff. That's all you have to do. Just send an email. Very easy. we are not allowed to spam people. We don't spam people. We never
No.
spam people. So we just put a little banner on our site that says, do
You
this.
might want to check this out.
Yeah, please check this out. Yeah.
We want you to learn how to code.
Yeah.
Be future compatible. Make yourself compatible with the future.
Okay.
Okay, customer
up.
projects on the blog this week. Here's Tim, who spent the afternoon building a Christmas tiara based on our NeoPixel tiara tutorial. Looking fabulous.
Would you say that's one of the more popular projects?
At least conceptually, at least what people talk about, right?
Yeah.
I think the Firewalker sneaker is probably the most popular project people actually make. But the tiara is, well, because it's for both genders. And,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the tiara could be too, but it's
Yeah.
but it's definitely like digital princess time.
Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely.
I see it a lot. That's why.
Yeah, it's like jewelry style. So like everybody's got their craft skills, right? I happen to collect them
Yeah.
as a hobby. I collect hobbies, but some people are only into sewing or only into jewelry, and this one is really good if you are already into like wire wrap jewelry is your thing, or because it's just all wire. It's very jewelry crafty. No sewing.
Okay. Next up.
MJ shared with us this cool like fuzzy stole with NeoPixels along the edge. Says that his darling is very excited about it.
Yeah, that's I like how it diffuses in the normally traditional holiday, snow padding that you see on lots of garments.
Yeah.
There's that SantaCon this weekend.
Is SantaCon this weekend? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I tell everybody what SantaCon? So SantaCon is this New York thing, and at first it seems kind of cute until like
Isn't it just like a pub crawl where
until
everyone's dressed as Santa?
until all of the Santas are really drunk.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to see is some
Bad
of the
Santa.
Santas. That was a funny movie. What I'd like to see is some of the Santas use electronics in some of their stuff, because you can do some of these things.
Right. It's really good inside a Santa hat. It's good for NeoPixel
Yeah.
strip, and it's
In
really.
New York, it gets kind of crazy around like 6 or 7 in the evening. There's just like a bunch of tank Santas running around.
Yeah.
So be careful out there, everyone.
Not all Santas are created equal.
We're also
SantaCon.
it's also the capital of drunk
people-
Santas.
Drunk Santas.
You got 3D electron, 3D printing.
and drunk Santas.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. Okay. Oh, I saw this on Twitter. I immediately sent it to you. I
It's
thought
a
that was
really
so
cool 3D printed mask with like different texture, and then it's got EL wire inside it, so it diffuses. It's just the white MakerBot filament.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure why I like this so much. I think it's because it reminds me of like 5 different science fiction movies.
Yeah, it's like if you got your Darth Maul, you got your.
Yeah.
It's definitely some Star
It's like
Trek. going
Enemy
in there.
Mine was one, and then I just went to that thing, Sleep No More, and you get
Yeah.
a mask, and I was like, of course, like I can't just be a normal person. I'm like, oh, these would be cool if they lit up, and yeah.
Yep.
then I got busted playing
Story
with
of my
the
life.
payphones, and it was long. Didn't work out the way.
Oh
I
no.
hoped. Yeah. So
Bad participant.
well, no, I'll stay away. They have phones there, and I was trying to figure out the phone system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it's easy. This mask is pretty easy to. The lighting effect is easy. Just put
Yeah.
the EL wire in it, but the diffusion is really kind of brilliant and has a lot of finesse.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Cool. Okay. Also in the news today, this video came out that we filmed a while back with me and Donnie Jones, the former NFL linebacker, came to our office, and he's filming this Be a Champion series with
Yeah.
CNN, all about like doing stuff better and being good at
Yeah,
good at things.
I saw it, and I think he goes, Becky Spotting, the queen of wearable electronics. And he goes, and I think he goes, yes, I am. It was good.
It was an interesting shoot. Anyway, if you
Yeah.
want to check out that video,
He did a really good job. You know what I like
Thanks.
about his particular thing? He has a cause that it's all about bow ties.
yeah.
And one of his friends had some type of medical issue or something came up, and so you can show support by like custom bow ties. And so at the end, you made this EL bow tie. Anytime you can combine electronics and a cause, I think is always good. But this was a neat one because this is a charity that he already works on.
Yeah.
And then when he rolled in,
Had a bow tie.
you
waiting for him.
already knew this was coming up, and
Right.
so he was able to have this bow tie that does EL blinky blink. So
Yep,
that's
and we
cool.
made a solar. We did the solar charging bag project together. We like soldered up a solar charger, and
Yeah.
I gave him a bow tie.
Okay.
It
Next up.
should be on like TV and stuff or something, because CNN. You might see it in your holiday travels this
Oh,
holiday
you're in the airport.
season.
Yeah. This is the
we
type
have
of
the
segment
airport.
they show in the airport.
Yes,
You're
yes.
just sitting there, and they play it 5 times.
If you see me in the airport. Can you take a picture, please?
Oh, that's cool. It's neat. Becky Spotting. Okay.
Okay, so today's debut project is a sweater that plays obnoxious sounds. I don't need to explain it. There's a video.
Take it away, past
Other Becky.
Video editing Becky.
This holiday season, build some sound effects into your Christmas sweater and turn up the cheer at your office party or family dinner. In today's project, learn how to wire up Adafruit's Audio FX soundboard to a portable speaker circuit. Let's get started. Pick a sweater to mod, whether it's an ironic tacky design or an upcycled holiday-ish sweater you managed to dig out of a drawer like me. It should be at least medium weight and not too stretchy. Grab a scrap of fuzzy fleece and cut out a kangaroo pocket. Pin and sew it to the front of your sweater. If you're modding a hooded sweatshirt, you might already have a pocket built in. Visit the complete tutorial for this project for more detailed sewing and assembly instructions, including a circuit diagram. Speaking of which, let's get going on that circuit. Solder a JST battery connector to the back of the board. Lay out your speakers on the sweater and trim the wires to just reach the soundboard with a bit of slack. Strip, twist, and tin these wire leads before connecting them to the speaker outputs on the audio board. To wire up the membrane keypad that will activate the sounds, plug in some jumper wires and then solder the other ends to the switch inputs and ground on the audio board. Load up your desired sounds to the board over USB. It'll show up like a flash drive on your computer. Name the files to match the inputs you connected, and test out your circuit on battery power. Reposition the circuit inside the pocket and stitch down the components using a needle and thread. The membrane keypad can peel and stick to the inside of the pocket opening. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe for more wearable electronics from Adafruit.
Right, and we are back. Okay.
There you go.
Tell me about this. Tell me more.
It's so annoying. It's one of the most annoying things I've ever made. However, it does work great and might impress your friends and annoy them.
I think our little owl got annoying after a while.
The owl was really annoying. This, I think, is like on par with the owl. Okay, so I have it on the overhead if you want to see closer what's going on here. I have in the pocket, I have the audio board. I have a bigger battery because the Mariah Carey tune is really power hungry. Because it's really loud. And then over here, I have the membrane keypad stuck to the inside of the fleece pocket. You could sew this down if you wanted a little extra sturdiness, depending on where you want to put it. And then the speakers are just in here. So when
which button activates Mariah Carey?
This one. This one is just the sleigh bells. And they're on hold, so they just stay on until you turn them off. That's the cool thing about the audio board.
Do you think if we, so how much of it, so hit the button again, the Mariah Carey button.
Oh. You're tempting the YouTube fates. See, in the video, I was pretty careful about editing music over top of it. Yeah, you're tempting it.
We can edit it out. I think that's fair. I think that's fair use.
Yeah, okay. Maybe. Anyway,
all right, so what other things can it do?
It also plays a little Paul McCartney.
Okay.
And a little Grinchy Grinch.
Okay, that's good.
So, and then sleigh bells. I'll tell you something. I tried to do use one of the vibration sensors in the sleeve, but the audio board has such good debouncing that they don't work for switching.
Why would you want to do that?
So that I could shake my arm like sleigh bells and have it make a sleigh bell sound.
All right.
But that's okay. These switches work great, but it is really easy to add more switches. Anyway, we should move on so that I can talk more about the audio board because it is our next segment.
Okay. Cool sweater, bro.
Cool sweater.
Hour of code, that's the code.
You could get 10% off all the supplies to make your own sweater.
Okay. All right, yeah. Besides you, the star of the show today, is the audio board. This is something we worked on for a really long time that allows all sorts of sweaters to make noises.
It's really neat. We're going to do some more projects with it coming up too that are not holiday themed. You can, it's really cool. It doesn't require any microcontroller programming. So all it does is you wire switches to it and then it plays sounds and it shows up on your computer like a flash drive when you plug it in, and the tutorial shows you how to name the files according to the behavior you want the sound to perform, whether you want it to hold and loop or to turn on and only when you're pressing the button down, and these different sound behaviors. And it comes in 4 flavors, 2 flavors with an amp and 2 flavors with a headphone jack. And the 2 flavors are 2 megabyte and 16 megabyte. So it's about the amount of sound that you can hold. They will play WAV and OGG files, and OGG are compressed so you can fit more audio. But if you want seamless looping, you use the WAV files because there's no delay in uncompressing the file. Yeah. Overall, just really great and super versatile, and we're hoping to see a lot of cosplay projects.
That's right. We built this specifically for cosplay costuming folks. If you look around, there's ones out there that are like over $60, and you have to request someone else to put the files on. You can't put your own files. And like your only files that you can have is like you get Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters, which I like. Don't get me wrong.
Ghostbusters is cool, but this is better because you can take your circuit out of your holiday sweater and put it into something else and change the sounds, and it's totally reusable that way.
Yeah. Do you know the Ghostbusters firehouse isn't too far from here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I've had friends who visited who are like, I have to go on the tour. As a tourist to the Ghostbusters firehouse.
Well, don't
pay full price.
Don't pay full price. Get 10% off.
Yeah. Great the audio board's super fabulous. Very good introduction to electronics.
Okay, material spotlight.
It's the wires we use to extend the membrane keypad. So these are really cool. We have them in a lot of different orientations and lengths. They're really good premium jumper wires, mainly for like breadboard prototyping, but you can also use them to connect free-floating components that are header pin style. So on the bottom here you can see the female ones connecting to the back of like an LCD that has pins on it, and then the male ones can fit really delightfully into a breadboard. And then if you go to the next slide, it's like that's kind of similar to how we connected it in the membrane keypad in this week's project.
I like how you can make your own cables.
Yeah, so you make your own little, and they're attached together like a ribbon cable, so you can tear off as many as you want to be all in one strand, and it makes it really easy and tidy to connect to components like you can see here with the XP. And we did the same thing with the membrane keypad, meaning I can also unplug it later and plug in a different button if I want to. Yeah. They're just really easy to, or handy to have around in a couple different lengths.
Since we got these, we haven't had as many requests for people to, hey, Adafruit, can you make me a custom cable with just like 17 things? They're like, oh, like I can
just
make
it.
Yeah, the other thing that's in that category, and we've gone over this, I think, in previous Wearable Electronics with Beckys TM, is the USB, the little USB shells and stuff. You can make your own cables with that too. Right. Those are very handy. Okay. All right.
So I find these handy. You might too, but don't pay full price. Get 10% off with code Hour of Code all day today.
Yeah. Okay. It's the moment everyone's been waiting for, at least the ones who've asked questions.
Yeah, they all have to wait until the end to see if their question was answered. So if you have a question about wearable electronics, about this week's project or whatever, you can leave a comment right now on the YouTube video, later on the YouTube video, on the Google Plus event, on Twitter, on the blog.
Yeah.
Anywhere that I will see your question, I can answer it on next week's show, making you eligible to win the drawing.
Yeah.
Those are names in this hat, in case you couldn't tell, of the people who've asked questions today.
Okay. All right. First question. Are you ready?
Yes.
This is from Susan. Becky, I'm trying to solve a LiPo battery failure mystery. I'm teaching college-level electronics art studio class, and one of my students was using a 1200 milliamp battery, which went bad, started to bulge at the corner, heated up, and smelled not so good. When the battery fell, it wasn't connected to our project, there was no puncture in it, and the leads from the battery were intact. Since I've used more than 20 of these types of batteries, no problems, I'm perplexed about this failure. My only guess is perhaps she used the wrong kind of charger. Do you have any other guesses on what could have gone wrong? P.S. She grabbed the leather gloves and took it outside where it cooled down. Nobody got hurt. Thanks, Suzanne.
Good, cool.
Okay.
I have some thoughts, maybe. I also teach in a grad art program where students are like, I swear, teacher, I didn't do anything wrong to my battery, like put it in my bag without a box around it.
You've heard everything. You've heard it all.
I had an additional thought. Maybe you can go to the overhead for a second.
Okay. This is like battery CSI here.
Yeah, I had another thought. So you see where the batteries connect here underneath the Kapton tape, and some batteries have a.
I think get a little brighter.
That's okay. Some batteries have an opaque section here, so you can't see the where the wires connect to the circuit board. But you can see there's 2 solder pads there, and these are stranded wires. So even if these are intact, if you like jiggle these around enough in your bag or you twist them around, sometimes a piece of the stranded wire inside here can like come loose and start going over and touching the other one. So inside the package here. That can happen from too much abuse of the wire. If your student left the project in the car and it got really hot in the car, or it got really cold in the car, extreme temperatures aren't good for live poly batteries. And also if it gets smushed, bent, crumpled, crushed, pinched, it might start to react that way. But good thing you got it out to safety. You can, once it stops reacting, you can take it to like a battery recycler or an e-waste recycling facility, and they'll take care of it for you.
I believe it was Colonel Klink with a wrench in the library.
Yeah, so like a lot of things can go wrong with your batteries. I've actually never, and I've used, of course, you've used 20, I've used dozens and dozens. I've never had one of the Adafruit ones bulge on me.
Yeah.
I did have a MacBook Pro battery bulge out on me and like threaten to explode.
Yeah, I had
that was scary.
My scariest battery experience. We should have that as my scariest battery experience. Was a ViewSonic, and it was, these things were called like media players. Back when there was, like it was a video, it was like personal PVPs, and they had giant videos, and it worked with the Microsoft Windows Media Edition, and it was brand new, everything was working out fine, and I'm sitting there and I just look over and the whole thing starts growing and making a noise, and and the battery was just it like was letting out battery steam, and I was just like, what's going on? I was just trying
fire extinguisher trained at it,
and I just like transferred like Star Trek Next Generation or something over them. Like, oh my god, like what's going on? So that was my scariest one because it was making noise. It was busting out of the case. And it needed this big battery because it's basically a portable.
So you guys know that like when I do projects with batteries that are on your person, that we always put them on the outside, right? And that we always make a way to make it, you get it off your skin real quick. So this NeoPixel collar buckles shut. So if you had the battery like pinched between your skin and the thing and it started to overheat, it could really burn you before you had a chance to get it off, right? And then maybe you're panicking and you can't get it off. So this one has the battery on the outside and it's like Velcroed on. So if it started to burn you, you could be like, "Wah!" and at least like get it away from your skin while you do undo the buckle.
One thing we should say is like, it's also rare, but you remember like, the one time, like it's.
Yeah.
So battery, like, as long as you get it from a good supplier, it's pretty much like.
Yeah, and then you don't abuse it, like your student clearly did. I don't care what she said, she abused that battery.
Man, you sound like
it was an accident, but still.
What did Adabot get for St. Nick's?
Okay, so last week we had the EL wire Christmas stockings you can learn how to make on the learning system if you're looking for a last minute Christmas decoration. This is great, really easy, super glowy. I made one for Adabot. Adabot sits really close to us during the show. We can't talk about any presents.
Yeah, I'm looking at Adabot right now.
We don't know what Santa is bringing Adabot for Christmas.
Yeah. Hopefully
He's right there.
Hopefully the script in the next one. We gotta get on. We gotta get on it. So we have Circuit Playground. A couple of them coming up. They just take a really long time to do.
Yeah. And our schedules and like we're full time running Adafruit and sometimes we do puppets. We don't have like an external puppet team.
Yeah. I think the next one we're going to do is ground now. I think I can get that going.
for ground?
Yeah, I think I can get that one going. Okay. All right.
Thanks for your question.
Yeah. This is from Alvaro. Hi, Beck and Phil. Greetings from Costa Rica. Huge fan of the show. My friend Tatiana and I are working on a chameleon necklace based on the scarf hardware with 3D printed enclosure. I want to make Gemma earrings, but because they can't handle color sensor, instead to actually read the RGB color from the flora using a fluorocell like Electric Imp's Blink Up, is this something that the Gemma can handle? Is there a library for it? Do you make it run another way? Sound instead of light, etc.
So yes, the Gemma can use a photocell for sure. There's no library for so you're kind of on your own on that pursuit, but give it a try and let us know how it goes. You could use RF, I guess, if you didn't mind sticking an RF receiver on the Gemma, like a dumb, and by dumb I mean just like on-off remote kind of thing. Honestly, I would just run a wire if you really, really need the necklace and the earrings to light up with coordinating colors. Like run a wire up the back and over your ear, and have the Gemma take in the information and turn the.
No matter what, breadboard this up because you'll see like kind of the maximum amount of space.
Yeah.
I was at a friend's place, and there was this performance artist, and she had amazing giant earrings. It was the sketching figures, and like some people can pull it off.
Yeah.
So there is no limit to earrings. You can like have giant things. So just make sure breadboard it up. You can wear the breadboards too, but just you need to know.
But prototype it first. But I don't have a quick fix for what you're talking about.
Okay.
What you're talking about doing. But you could have Gemma do an animation. Maybe that's I kind of am okay with the idea that I have to program my earrings before I go out.
Yeah.
Instead of like on the fly while I'm out all the time.
Yeah. We've had need to update the firmware and jacket. I can't read my book because it's out of batteries. Things you
charge my book or reprogram your jacket. Or recolorize
my
earrings.
watch's camera won't turn off, or things like that. Okay. Next up, this is from Kobe. What would I use, Flora, Gemma, etc., to display a pulsing animation? Then when I push button, the pulsing speeds up, and when I let go of the button, it goes back to normal speed of pulsing to simulate charging energy effect when the button is being pushed down.
This sounds a lot like our Iron Man arc reactor project, just saying. So you can totally has a pulsing animation, and you can totally add a button to affect the animation, and that uses Gemma. You can do Gemma or Trinket. If you have, whatever you have lying around will work. It's not a very complicated one digital input, and like a NeoPixel ring is all you need.
Yeah. Can also look at the eye necklace stuff, because that's a very small pulsing thing.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And you could potentially add a switch that just turns that on and off. You could do that. The circuit diagram and the board files are online. You could just reproduce that in a different way.
Yeah.
And the code is super optimized for low power, too. So you could wear it.
Check it out.
Okay, well, that's our questions.
Okay, guys, did one of you want a Flora, maybe?
Yeah, but before you give away something, how do people ask you, Becky Stern, questions
They can
on
ask
the show?
in the comments now while you're watching, and then in the comments later while you're watching, and on the Google Plus event page, or on the Google Plus Adafruit page, or on the Adafruit blog comments, or on Twitter.
Yeah.
Less
all
so
those
on
places.
Facebook, but yeah. Carrier Raven, three-eyed Raven. When is Game of Thrones coming back on TV?
I don't know. But, I told you my theory about Game of Thrones.
What?
You should stop watching it after the Dragon Lady wins, and she just burns down everything. Dragon Lady won.
Did she do that yet? No.
In the series, she got the army. No, but on the TV show.
Yeah. She was the army.
And she burnt the guy, and she said the name. Like, that's when it ends. It's a perfect time to end it.
I'm still enjoying it.
It's a happy ending.
Okay.
She burns everything to the ground.
I have selected today's winner. Speaking of.
Okay. Burn it.
Daenerys Targaryen did not win a Flora. Yeah. Susan, your student story
great.
about your live poly battery just won you a Flora. I hope that
That's funny, and I said burn it too. Here's something your student can burn down.
Flora is very hard to burn by plugging it backwards, because it has reverse polarity protection.
You know how hard you have to try to burn a Flora?
It's hard to burn a Flora. My friend Jaw did it. She was going to ITP, and somehow she burned her Flora. I don't know how.
It's impressive when it happens.
I've never burned a Flora. I have messed up the bootloader on a Gemma, and then had to bootload the Gemma, but then I made a tutorial out of it, so lemonade.
All right. Well, if you didn't
Congratulations,
win a Flora,
Susan, please email support@adafruit.com to claim your prize. I'll also reach out to you on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you didn't win, that's okay. You can still get 10% off. That's kind of like winning.
Yeah, sure. You can make an annoying sweater to bring to your Christmas party.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I don't think I'm going to wear it to our holiday dinner.
Yeah. But it might be loud enough for when you want.
It's actually, when we filmed it over in Fab, and it was less annoying over in Fab than it is over at my desk where it's a little bit quieter.
Yeah, we're trying to do accounting and stuff. Numbers.
Yeah, and I'm like, program websites.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, if people want more, they can stop by tonight.
Yeah, if you have projects to share, I don't know if you guys know about our weekly show and tell hangout on Google+. It's a really fun time. You can show up from the comfort of your own home and a webcam and show us your cool electronics, possibly wearable electronics project tonight at 7:30. All you have to do is leave a comment on the Google+ event requesting to be added to the circle, and you'll be invited this week and every week thereafter, and you can just show up. It's a party. If it's been busy and you can't get in, just keep trying.
Yeah, it's a party where everyone's having fun, except for the one guy who has to try to get it to work every week, and that's me. And so like every week they change something. So this week, by the way, I'm hot on the trail of something else. I forgot to tell you. The newest Chrome beta now displays all the camera choices, but they don't work.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
So it's like fake. Yeah.
So it's so close.
We have this never-ending saga of Google Hangouts plus our very fancy HD camera solution into
We're in
Google+.
communication now. And the audio video guy
Chrome broke Safari
from
works.
Entrepreneur.com, he's my friend. I'm in the AV club with him.
Yeah.
And they had to switch too. And he's like, thank goodness, like you guys said that you noticed the same thing we did. We thought it was our equipment. No, so we can still do HD broadcasts, but we just have to use a different browser.
Do they care about any of this stuff? We care about this stuff.
It's going to get transcribed. It's going to get transcribed, and in the future, someone will be like, I solved it.
You solved it. Well, we think that maybe Blackmagic needs to make an update, a driver update for Chrome or whatever, Hangouts.
Okay.
Okay, so then after show and tell is Ask an Engineer, when you can ask your non-wearable related electronics questions to Mrs. Lady Ada and Mr. Lady Ada.
She'll answer any question. She'll answer any electronic question, though.
Yeah, she'll answer. I just mean that I don't answer non-wearable electronics questions.
Yeah, no. She'll do that. But she'll
Lady Ada will answer any question.
You can, any type of electronics question you can throw at her, she'll just hit it out of the park.
Or she catches the bullets and then it's very good at answering all
sports analogies. She'll slam dunk it in the goalpost.
I don't. I want to have I think we need to have a sports segment.
We will
on the show next year.
The Wirecast version we have that we're going to move to has a scoreboard. We can do score. Ding, ding. I do want to do a
Nike 1 point.
Yeah, maybe we'll do this next year. I want to do a when we have guests. Maybe one little segment will be Electronic Jeopardy.
Oh, that would be so fun with arcade button.
Yeah.
Yeah. Game shows are great. Okay. Anyway, and then tomorrow. Don't miss the 3D Hangout with Matt, Noe, and Pedro. 3D Thursday, 3 p.m. They talk about the latest in 3D printing and cool projects to make and go over some CAD knowledge so that you can learn how to make the most of your 3D printer.
Yeah, and they usually have a lot of things about 3D printing I don't know about, so I always like to read it because I kind of can't keep up.
Yeah, it's very busy.
There's a lot going on, and we just added another type of printer to our store. It's the Orion Delta. And we have some new types of filament coming in that you're going to really like soon. So we have bronze and metal ones coming in soon.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, so
for jewelry stuff.
Yeah, so we're gonna we'll have those in the store soon. You'll like that. Okay.
Cool. So stick around for that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a show.
And then we'll be here the same bat time, the same bat channel next week for more wearable electronics.
Yeah, that's good.
The last show, is it the last show of the...
Next week there's a show.
Next week there's a show, and then the following week there's no show because it's Christmas, and then the week after that it's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, do you want to do one on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, we can do it on New Year's Eve.
Okay. Christmas Eve, no.
Christmas Eve, no.
New Year's Eve, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
this
fair.
is not the last show of 2013.
That's fair.
Which is good still, because I still have a best of video to make.
That's right. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff. All right. Well,
thank you guys for watching. I hope that you'll ask some questions so that I can answer them next week and make some wearable electronics.
Special thanks to everybody in the chat and our friends Leslie and Phil stopped by and also Sally and everybody else.
Oh, we love you guys.
And ISS Above and Young Engineers of Today and Morwick. Everybody, you guys are fantastic. Thank you for saying all sorts of nice things in the comments. You guys are great.
See you next week.
Bye.